Hello, everyone. It's been a strange morning already for me as I was sitting in the meditation room in the chair that Dr. Mary used to sit in when she was still alive. Of course, the chair was in a different location at that time, but anyway, it's the same chair that I've spoken of before in one or two of the videos. She used to sit there all the time, and I often feel like she's still she's still in that room sometimes. I sensed her the other night when we did our prayer circle on Wednesday night. And that was the first time I had actually sensed her presence in that strongly in quite a while, but there were a lot of spirit activity going on in the room that evening, and she seemed to be there standing in the doorway as she often does. And of course, I often also have on that chair the Afghan that my mother knitted every stitch with love, or actually not knitted, crocheted every stitch with love. And when I sit in that chair, I often think of my family and friends and dreams. I was pondering again the dream that I had a couple of days ago now, a couple mornings ago, after doing the video. And someone pointed out that I was looking at the two different ways of seeing the world. The one way of seeing everything as coming into a place of destruction, and the other one being revived and rebuilt and beautiful and vibrant colors, and passing through the curtain and seeing that woman with the purple top, just smiling, beaming, which to me is, I guess, the divine feminine. And I was thinking of my dreams. And I recalled last Thursday's class where we talked about people dying and crossing over, and how a lot of people want to be alone when they die, and they tend to want to die when their family's not in the room with them. Oftentimes it seems that happens according to the book that we were reading and according to the experience of several people in the Thursday book study group. But I had a different experience with Dr. Mary that I shared with the group then, and it came back to me again this morning. She died very early in the morning on a Friday, the 25th of February 2005, and I woke up really early that morning and felt a need to get to the hospital right now. And of course, it wasn't even visiting hours yet. It was still dark when I arrived at the hospital, and had to find my way through the emergency room and find my way up to her room, and sat there in her last moments holding her hand. And I feel she actually called me to come and be by her side, and holding her hand when she passed. It was the only time in my life I've ever been present when someone crossed from the physical world back into the spiritual world, leaving their body behind. And I don't believe that death is anything final. And in many respects, it's not real. It's just going from one door into another door, from one reality into another reality. There's a part of us that's indestructible and eternal and infinite, that never dies. I know that. But it was interesting to realize how much she loved and trusted me and wanted me there with her when she died. I remember looking at her eyes. She just opened them really, really big. And I don't know, I often thought in that moment, and have reflected since, maybe it was my terror that I was seeing reflected, because she just opened her eyes really big, and we just looked at each other and squeezed my hand. And And then she just sort of went down a little bit, and the nurses came running into the room because, of course, she was being monitored. And they made me leave the room. And then they called me back in a little while later and said she was gone. But I was there in that final few moments. Actually, I was there for over half an hour before she died. And it would have been the middle of the night. Nobody would have been there. It was not normal visiting hours. But she called me to her side, and I remembered that this morning as I was sitting in her chair and as I shared with the group on Thursday, that experience, and the experience of my father's passing, where my mother had to let him go. She was hanging on, and he was in a coma for several days before he died. And she had to just say it was okay for him to cross over, and she wasn't going to hold him there anymore. And the family, my brothers and sisters and I were outside and very aware of what was going on. He knew he was going to go. He told us before he went into the operation that morning that he said goodbye rather than see you later, as he had always done previously when he had gone in for more surgeries. The last 7 years of his life, he had 6 or 7 surgeries in 7 years. Anyway, reminiscing about family this morning. We all do that. We all reminisce about our families, I'm sure. What do the relationships that we develop with those that are blood relatives, what do they mean? What lessons are we there to learn? Yeah, it's a strange morning. It's been a strange since a few days ago when I had the vivid recollection of how ignorant I was, as I continue even now to study every day about the legal situation and about the structure of our world, and I realize how little I actually know. And it's like a time right now for me, it's like a time of reminiscing. It's Father's Day tomorrow here in the United States. I don't know which other countries celebrate that as a holiday, but we do here. I went to hear my son's band, Elephant Gun, play last night. Tom is the drummer in that band. And right now, they are involved in an international contest. They were one of 5 finalists selected by a company that manufactures musical equipment and amplifiers and stuff like that. I can't remember the name right off the top of my head. But anyway, they were selected, and there's just 2 groups, one from England and one from the United States, here in Florida, my son's band, that are running neck and neck. I didn't look at the results this morning. I suspect normally this time of day, the band in England has jumped ahead, and then when people start waking up here, Elephant Gun moves back into the lead. I went to hear them play last night, and I used to go to hear them play pretty much every single week, but this year that was only the 2nd or maybe 3rd time that I had heard them, that I had gone to hear them, and I'm actually going to go hear them again tonight because they're playing right close to home. And that isn't always the case. Sometimes it's a good drive. Sometimes it's a few-hour drive to go hear them play. But they are a pretty awesome band. Last year they were selected elected, voted in as the favorite original band in Brevard County, Florida, which is the county where I live. But now to be selected for this competition where the winner gets to go to Nashville in the middle of July, and it's all done by voting on the internet. I'm going to post that so that any of my friends that want to can vote for him, for the band, listen to their song that was presented. That's the way that was entered. I mean, everybody's that wanted to, all the bands that wanted to enter the contest were invited to send a video of them playing, and then it was narrowed down by whatever method was used to, again, 5 bands. And the 2 bands that are in first and second place have 91% of all the votes. So the other 3 may as well not even be in the running, because people aren't voting for them. It's just again the band in England and the band here in the United States and in Florida. My son's dream has always been his music. And I know a lot of people have dreams. And this is the time that our dreams come true. Let me just say that too about Elephant Gun. They are an Aquarian Age band. And by that I mean this. All of them were born in February. David, the bass player, David Pastorius, the nephew of the famous Jaco Pastorius, who people may remember from the past. He was at one time one of the most famous bass players in the entire world. David was born on the 3rd of February. My son was born on Valentine's Day, the 14th of February. And Trevor, the lead singer and lead guitar player, or the singer and lead guitar player, was born on the 25th of February. And when I first realized that all of their birthdays were in February, 11 days apart from each other, I said, you guys are an 11-11 band, and 2011 is going to be your year to finally gain some recognition. Of course, they did gain some recognition last year when they were voted, again, the favorite band in Brevard County. But this year they're in this international competition, which I sort of predicted. There's been times that the band is ready to break up because of them not getting along with one another and having difficulties relating. But in any case, I've been reminiscing about these things this morning, and about things that I love, and I don't even know that I have a point to arrive at. I'm just sharing with you that yes, I have connections to real people. I'm part of a community that's helping my son, and maybe some of you will be part of that community too, sharing the voting thing on your Facebook page. I don't think you can really do it on YouTube. But I appreciate anybody that wants to help my son win. You can vote once a day. That's all permissible. The more people that participate, the more votes they'll get. So, what can I say this morning? Once again, I'm in the stillness, in the reflecting stage, very introspective. Feel like I'm in the void. And something is being created here. Not sure exactly what it is yet, but I'm observing myself in the energies and invite you to do the same. Go deep within you. Look at your dreams. What do you love? Look at the relationships of those around you. Ponder, explore, wonder, and be open to whatever messages you get from Spirit. I leave you with these thoughts this morning. Namaste, and God bless you.